International Geographic Research and Production present An Island on the Equator. On Mentawai Island, fishing is traditionally a woman's task. The first thing they do is they make new skirts from banana leaves that are cut into thin strips. Back in the 1960s, such skirts were the only items of clothing worn by the Mentawaian women. Today, however, many things have changed, and new fabrics that are brought from the coastal traders are slowly forcing out the traditional material used by local natives for centuries. Siberut does not have any deep rivers. That is one of the reasons that traps are used to catch fish. Here, only small fish and various species of shellfish inhabit the rivers and the streams. So as not to interfere with each other, everyone goes in different directions and each woman picks her own spot. Along with fish and shellfish, floating debris finds its way into the nets. Fish is taken out of the nets and placed into special holders that women carry on their backs. The most experienced of the women, who know fishing techniques best, clean the river from blockages created by trees and branches. Fish is often found in such places where it seeks shade and looks for food. Nets for the traps are made by hand. Tree bark is the material from which they are made. First, it is cut into thin stripes, then they are smoked over an open fire. Afterwards, it is dried in the sun for about 2 days. It is then cut into even thinner strips from which the nets are woven. The process of fishing goes on for several hours, and only after the bamboo containers are filled with fish do the women return to the village. Loincloths, or loin bands, are made by the men from the bark of the so-called baiko tree. Two deep and straight cuts are made on the tree trunk. The bark is then removed as a whole strip. The quality of a band will greatly depend on how accurately it had been removed from the tree. The bark is first soaked in water, then beaten with sticks, and then soaked again. This process goes on for 2 hours until the bark becomes soft to the touch. The loin cover is called the kabi. It comes in 2 types. The white one, which is worn by simple people, and the red, which is worn exclusively by the shaman. Red paint for the bands is extracted from the bark of the mango tree. In order to attract the souls of the whole family to the house, wooden birds are placed in front of the entrance and inside the dwelling. The Mentawaians called them umad simagere, toys of the soul. These birds have to protect the uma, or the house, from various dangers. For a Mentawaian, the house is the village under one roof, which consists of several rooms. In the first large room, the ceremonial fire is located. Skulls of all the wild animals killed by the hunters of the tribe are hung on a back wall in such a way that they face the jungle. Before the hunt starts, the shaman calls for the spirits to enter the skulls with the help of magic spells. The Mentawaians believe that by bringing back the spirit of the dead animal to its skull, they will bring that animal back to life. Probably, the final goal of this ritual is to increase the number of the animals the tribe is planning to hunt. The symbol of death shows foot and handprints. Black discs below symbolize morning moons. The Mentawaians use sugarcane juice, which is squeezed from the plant and thoroughly mixed with charcoal to make tattoos. Not long before my visit, one of the women had lost her husband, and the young widow had decided to decorate her body with a new tattoo in order to become more attractive. The tattoo artist first draws a traditional pattern on the body with a twig. He does this with great care, realizing that a person will carry the tattoo all his life, and in case a mistake is made, the prestige of the tattoo maker will be lost forever. Only special people possess the right to make tattoos. Gifts have to be given to them for the work done. The peculiarity of this tradition among the Mentawaians is that the tattoo is made on a platform raised on piles, so that the blood does not drip onto the ground. According to local legends, this can make the spirits of the ancestors very angry. The woman had shaved the top part of her head as a symbol of mourning for her dead husband. During the second stage of the ritual, the artist uses a thin copper needle that is attached to a wooden base. He draws the pattern with this instrument by rhythmically tapping the needle with a stick. This ritual lasts for several hours. I have experienced it myself and can say that this procedure is very painful and demands endurance and a lot of self-control. Tattoos have two meanings for the women. They are considered to be great decorations, and they also demonstrate that the bearer belongs to the people of Mentawai. The elder of the clan and his shaman, Tiorocha, go to the jungle with his brother, a young shaman named Amankola. Amankola has taken along his elder daughter. He wants her to know more about the forest and the plants and animals that inhabit it. In the Mentawaian language, an ant is called erike. Ants are knocked off a tree along with their nest. Not only do the natives eat ants, but also their larvae and eggs. Tree ants have a sour taste and are considered a delicacy that is not to be eaten daily. Though while enjoying such a meal, the people also suffer the bites of these aggressive insects. All Mentawaians know that only in the rotten trunks of the sago palm can one find special larvae that is called tamoro. After the sago has been extracted from the palm, the trunk is left to rot for a period of 3 months. This is done in order for the larvae of moths to develop there. During this time, the palm is the property of the clan and strangers do not come close to such trees. All this time, the people wait for their larvae to reach a certain stage of development. The larvae are collected and placed into shallow bamboo containers. Men, women, and children participate in the process. There is no discrimination here. Larvae are not consumed often since they too are considered a delicacy. The Mentawaians had come to the place where they had once lived to see what was left of their Uma. Very little reminded them of the home that they had at one time built on this spot. Some more time will pass and the jungle will swallow the last signs that people had once lived there. The flowers that are considered edible are called totonam. It is not hard to find them in the predominant green of the tropical forest since they are bright red in color. Only the petals of the flower are used. They have a sour taste that is reminiscent of lemon. That is why the Mentawaians always consume this food with water. These flowers also have antiseptic and germicidal properties. On their way home, Tio Rocha and his young helper had gathered coconuts. Some of the nuts are hung on special poles in pairs. The natives wait for them to sprout and later plant them in the jungle near the village. The coconuts which are left over will be immediately consumed by the clan members. It is the women's task to prepare the larvae. One of them places bamboo sticks vertically over a fireplace, sticking twisted banana leaves in the upper part. So that the larvae does not burn, the woman constantly changes their position. Hot pipes with cooked food are taken out of the fireplace with special tongs. One of the women goes to get water before the meal begins. Water is carried in large bamboo containers. One such container can hold up to 15 liters of water. The bamboo pipes dried over the fire crack, and it is easy to get the cooked food out. The larvae have a lot of fat and are sweet to the taste. This delicacy is very nutritious, high in calories, and is a good substitute for meat. They are consumed along with dried sago. After a filling meal, the wife of the elder makes herself a cigarette. Instead of rolling paper, she uses the dried leaves of a young banana tree, in which she carefully places tobacco which was received through trading. In Mentawai, an axe is called the balyek. It has a special quality. The handle can be changed. If a blade is broken, it is easy to take it out and change it. Metalwork is not known on Subtitles Island, and all metal objects are obtained through trading. A boat is built from a palm tree. This process takes a month or two. It all depends on how many people are building the boat and how skillful they are. On average, a boat serves for about 4 to 5 years. When the boat is almost ready, it is brought to the river and tests are performed to see how stable it is and how well it can maneuver. Not satisfied with the quality of their work, the people take the boat back to make adjustments and to finish the job.